Hi guys, hope you're all doing well. I've got some items here that I've been buying over the last few weeks, collecting I suppose. Prior to doing a layout update, I wanted to get some bits and pieces together to light up the layout and also to populate it and to really work on some scenes, in particular probably the town scene up the top of the layout where I've done the roads and the got a lot of the low relief Metcalfe buildings. So what I wanted to add to that was this here, bus stop and shelter, which are pre-made shelters, and they come with the stickers to stick on the advertising and such, and also onto the signs for the bus times and things like that. So that'll go really well at my bus stop. So I got one of those. I also got, and what I'll do in a second is I'll take these out and show you them out of the boxes. I also got one of these exclusive first editions buses, double-decker buses, and these are great. I actually got these. In fact, I might get one or two more of these if they're still in the bargain bin. There's $15 each, which I actually reckon is a pretty good deal. They've got the spiral staircase going up and everything, and I might even sort of take off the lid and put a few people in there too, which would be really nice. I've got myself, because I've got taxi stops there at the main town. I got myself a little taxi, Oxford diecast taxi, beautiful little model. That one, really like that one. So I got that as well, and so I'll take those out of the boxes. I won't take the taxi out of the box. I'll take the bus out of the box, and I'll show you what that looks like. So here it is out of the box. It's a lovely little model actually. It's nothing. Well, I guess it is well detailed. It's nothing sort of highly detailed, but it's still a nice little bus. And if you can see in there, upstairs, downstairs, as it were. I'd have to try and figure out how to pop the top off and get some people in there. But yeah, I want to do that without wrecking it. If anyone's got any suggestions on how if you know how to take these apart, if you could let me know in the comments, that'd be really good, just so that I don't wreck it. But yeah, quite a good little model, and it'll go quite nicely with my bus stop. So the bus stop, as I said, it's pre-made, and you've got the little bus stop sign here as well to go next to it. So that's quite good. But one of the main reasons I wanted to make this video was for a couple of shout-outs. A few in particular. But one very big shout out. I'll start with the smaller ones first before I get to the I'm going to lift it up for you to show you before I get to this. Okay, so stay tuned. What I wanted to do was I wanted to give a shout out to Cam and Crystal, who have an eBay store called Australian Fun Times 2008. I got 150 HO scale, or 00 gauge as well, little painted people off them. So 150 of them there, and Cam and Crystal have been so kind as to give me a few little people for free in each bag. And these little people are really quite good. I got all of these people for around the $30 mark, $30. Now, when you consider there's a fair few poses. Obviously, when you get 150 of them, you're doubling up on poses and things, but they're all painted different colours. If you were to consider buying a set of, say, 8 people in a normal from a normal seller, you're paying, well, in Australia here we're paying about $20 odd, sometimes up to $30 depending on the brand. To populate or to get 150 people on my big layout, or decent size layout, I suppose you'd say, could be upwards of $400. Yes, I'd have plenty of different scenes and plenty of different specific, I suppose, poses or what would you say? Workmen. I'd have people coming out of the pub, that sort of stuff. Different styles of people, but these will really populate the layout really very well. And I'm going to try and bring that up to show you. And I'm sorry if it goes blurry. but they are actually painted really quite well. And they're all in a mix of different colours. I'm really, really stoked with that. Cam and Crystal were very, very easy to deal with on eBay, so I'll definitely be using them again. And I would highly recommend, having a look into these people. If you've got a big layout, and I know there's a couple of us that have some really, no, I'm talking much bigger than mine, layouts, to populate your layout very easily and cheaply, but with some quality as well. These people here are going to look sensational, so I'm going to stick those on the layout. Right, Bob has an eBay channel, an eBay store. He goes under Robert Catastrophe. And I got these cute little lights off him. Now, I've seen these plenty of times on the internet. I must admit, they actually look a lot better in real life. I'm going to see if I take those out for you. They're actually really quite cute, these lights. And now, these are 3-volt lights. Question for Dave. Dave, if you can let me know, I want to get one of those regulated power plugs that you've got. They've started selling them now in Australia. And if I set that to 3-volt, will that run all of those lights plus a number of other 3-volt lights as well, without blowing them, as long as it's one of those, same plug as yours, yellow dial, click, 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 change it from 3 to 5 to 9, 12, whatever it is. So these are 3 volts. A lot of the lights that I'm getting are different voltages, so I'm going to try and get the, to have one town as this is the 3-volt setup, this is the 6-volt, so on and so on. I'm actually getting some of those connectors, some of those wire connectors from Germany that Dave was showing on his layout the other day. So I've got a couple of those coming. And I've also got some Belisha beacons coming as well, which I'm really quite excited about sticking those on the layout. So there were a couple of little shout outs there. Now I'll show you the fire engine. And here it is again. Now I've already unscrewed it, so as I very carefully take open the take off the top, here's one I prepared earlier, as they say, all unscrewed. This is an Oxford die-cast model of a fire engine, a really lovely model. Now, what happened with this was I actually got this sent to me from John over at Shedring Model Railway. Now, if you haven't got on John's channel before, I've mentioned it in my updates before. Get onto his channel. I've written it down because I think I got it wrong last time. If you just put into YouTube Shedring Railway, it'll come up with his. They've got a little logo with an S and an R. Click on that. Look at his stuff. Him and his sons work flat out on their layout. It is an absolutely sensational layout. So dynamic with some of the stuff that they've done on it. John in particular does heaps of work on it and heaps of detailed work on vehicles. He's also got, and I'm sorry for using a cheat sheet. In fact, this is my nice little note I got from Bob, who sent me the lights. Just making sure I was happy with them. So thanks, Bob. I'm using a cheat sheet because I'm just trying to see what I've written. Okay, on Facebook. If you're on Facebook, and I know many of us are because we've all sort of friends on Facebook. Check up Shedring Scale Model Vehicles, Light Bars and Decals. Sorry, let me go back on that. Check out Shedring Railway, all one word, Scale Model Vehicles, Light Bars and Decals. Like the page, John will put updates on there as to what he's doing and items that he has for sale. Essentially what he does, and I don't know how he does it, but he gets these models and he puts lights in them. The most amazing light setups and neat workmanship you will ever see in a small model like this. I guarantee that. I don't know how he does it. My fingers can barely turn the switches on, let alone how he actually drills tiny drill holes into the truck to get these lights in. And I'll show you exactly what I mean. Have a look at this. This is amazing. I'm going to switch it on with a pen because I can't even get my fingers in there. I don't know how he does it. Now have a look at that. That is sensational. Now you have to agree that is one of the most sort of dynamic little models you've ever seen with lights. Just on the front alone, he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lights on the front alone. Tiny little things that he's integrated into this model. All flashing differently. What I've done is, now you might not be able to see this, and I apologise for this because I don't think the zoom will actually work on this. I'm just looking around on the screen to see, but you'll see that little switch area there. On this switch area, we've got on, 1, 2, and 3. Switch 1, which I have it on at the moment, shows the blue flashing lights that we have. Back, side, front, and side. We turn it on to number 2, and we have spotlights. The tiniest little LEDs you've ever seen, spotlights on this side. Okay, if you're working on this side. Turn on 3, and you guessed it, we've got spotlights on the other side. Beauty of this, apart from it being such a very, very neat job on doing these lights, is that it has its own battery. There's no wires to the truck. You can have it sitting wherever you like, whenever you like on your layout, and it will sit there and flash for hours and hours and hours on end. And yes, you can change the battery over if the battery goes flat. John, thank you, mate, for sending me this through. I'm absolutely stoked at this. You should have seen my face light up when I actually saw this in the post and opened up the box. I was absolutely wrapped. Guys, get on this. Get on this as soon as you can. John will tell you how much he will quote for one of these models, a police car, a truck, whatever it is. He's got a 3D printer that he's got constantly running in the background, printing out different items and things. Get onto this though and get a quote from him, because these would look fantastic on so many of our layouts, and I cannot wait to get this going in a scene. I'm going to get a police car off him too, hopefully very shortly. But yeah, check this out. He also, now you're not going to be able to see this. Oh no, you can kind of see it. Okay. Anyway, it's not going to focus in, so I'm just going to tap the screen and see if it's going to focus. Yes, it is. See the little fellas inside there? He after he sent it, he sent me a little note saying, by the way, I've stuck some crew in it. I thought, somebody should be driving it. He's put 5 little firemen in there for me. So just couldn't be more stoked at that. So thank you, John, very, very much. That's going to come in so handy, and it's going to be just such a focal point of the layout when I get it going. So guys, please check out Shed Ring Model Railway and Shed Ring Railway Scale Model Vehicles, light bars and decals, because what he's doing over there is he's just unbelievable. I keep looking at this model thinking, how the hell did he get his fingers to work those lights and that switch? But anyway, he's obviously got a bit of a niche market there, so he builds them all the time and does a great job. Thank you everyone for watching. It's not obviously a usual update. I've got some more lights on the way. I've got some of those panels on the way, the connectors on the way, so I can get I'll get the layout lit up, and I can do a layout update shortly with it all lit up. In the meantime, I'll start making some of these scenes, and I'll get maybe the next day or so another update up with some of this stuff in action in scenes. So thanks once again, and I will catch up with you guys shortly. Cheers.